Hello, my beautiful rainbow people. Welcome to Camp Out for Freedom. Countdown to 420. Unfortunately, the last couple of days I wasn't able to do any recording, so today I'm going to do year through some. I'm going to do 7, 6, and 5. so, um, my reasons for doing the Camp Out for Freedom is, of course, because of the prophecy of Israel. Hello, my name is Zion, and I am attempting to become the prophet Zion from the Old Testament prophecy of Israel. And in order to do that, I am required to stage a Camp Out for Freedom, a repeat of the Exodus of Israel from Egypt. Only this time it's the Exodus of Zion from America. I know that sounds pretty crazy, and it gets crazier still. Now, in the prophecy of Israel, which is contained within the Book of Zion, which I put together from the various testimony of the Old Testament prophets, there is um, a story that we are living out as we speak. The prophetic events began in actuality on May 25th, 2015, when I actualized the prophecy by reading a 16-page testament from the prophet Isaiah to establish myself as the prophet Zion. Establishing myself in a court of law in accordance with Isaiah chapter 1. And I established myself as Zion in a case which pertained to the sale of marijuana, the tree of life. Now, in the prophecy, marijuana is the tree of life. It is the greatest gift given to mankind from the grave. Now, according to scientific research, marijuana and hemp are unrelated to any other plant on this planet, with good reason, because it doesn't come from this planet. It comes from the homeworld of our ancestral gods, our father race, the Grey. And they have reintroduced its use into the human consciousness in order to re-establish communications with them, because you see, marijuana opens up receptacles in the human genome, the human brain, that allows for the activation of dormant DNA that comes from the gray. When we get high, we become gray. We activate that latent genetic material contained within our DNA. And it allows us to advance our species and to become a telepathic race. Now, there's only one other way to become a telepath on this planet, and that is through dire necessity. When we are placed into do or die situations, if they are traumatic enough, they will activate this latent genetic abilities that we have. But for the most part, it is the people who use drugs who find their way to this genetic alteration. They become gray. And we are the ones who are to make this wonderful exodus from America. Now, we were actually created through the establishment of the war on drugs. We would have never become if the war on drugs had not happened. But because it did happen, we separated ourselves from society. We took on the characteristics of the gray. We activated that latent genetic material. We became telepaths. We connected ourselves to the energy that is life. And by doing so, we elevated our genome. We became priests of the Most High God of Israel, as foretold in the prophecy of Israel. And it is that prophecy that I'm trying to create by creating the Camp Out for Peace, Countdown to 420. This is my first attempt to actualize the prophecy of Israel. Now, I consider myself to be a fantastic realist. I have these fantastic beliefs that are based on experience and this this telepathic world that I live in. And Um, I understand that things take time. You can't build a skyscraper in a day. You have to gather everything together and make it. You know, it's like you might be able to put it up in a week, but it's going to take months to get it to the place where you need it to be, where you can actually do the thing. And that's exactly what I'm doing. Now, on 420 of 2020, I started this YouTube channel, Potsmoker's Bible. It was my finalization of the prophecy of Israel, because I started in 2015 to actualize the prophecy, to put it into motion. Now, of course, I started in 1979, so it took me from 1979 to 2015 to actualize, to take the first step in the realization of the prophecy of Israel. Now, from that point to this point, everything has coalesced. It has actually happened as prophetically predicted. Within a month of my appearing in court to establish myself as the prophet Zion, Donald Trump, the basest of men, announced his run for election in 2020. And just as predicted, he was put into power by my God, the Great. He was put into power to do exactly what he did. He undermined everything that America stood for. He exposed the hypocrisy of the United States of America. He gave the white supremacists, who had always been the power base of America, to the fore. He brought them out into the open. Because my beautiful rainbow people had begun to assert themselves. Now, they began to assert themselves at Ferguson while I was in jail from my when I got busted, because I'd already started that 7 years prior when I opened the Temple of Zion. So I had taken all these steps to put the prophecy into motion, and as a result of my manipulating reality by creating these set of circumstances, I initiated the prophecy, and Donald Trump took his part and became the President of the United States. And during his 4 years in office, while I sat out my 2 years in prison that I was required to do because of the prophecy, he became the President of the United States. And while I was writing um, the Potsmoker's Bible and creating everything I needed, figuring out the truth of prophecy, putting it all together, and setting it in motion. You see, when I got out of prison, after Donald Trump had been elected into the White House, I went to publish Peace, which was my final event that I needed to do. And to my utter despair, I found out that I had to write another book, because I had written the Book of Zion, the Book of Prophecy, which established the prophecy itself and gave me my instructions. But when I went to publish it, which is the last thing I was required to do, I found out I had to write another book. So it took me a couple of years to do that, to actually get all of the research together and to figure out how to write this book. So while I was putting the prophecy putting the book into its final form, the Potsmoker's Bible, President Donald Trump was doing exactly what the Gray had instituted his presidency for. He was undermining all of the fallacies of American life. He was showing us in bold display exactly what America was. And he gave the white supremacists, what America really is, the platform to come out into the open like the Nazis did and try to take over, which they attempted to do on January 6th. Of course they failed. Of course they failed, because Trump was never, ever going to do anything more than what he actually did. Now, he is falling hard and fast. And he's going to go bye-bye. He is not going to, QAnon and everything that comes with Trump. It was all put into being in order to undermine America and create the necessary conditions for the rise of Zion. That's what his job was, and that's exactly what he's done. And he's done it by bringing everything to a head, by putting into place a regime that was so incompetent that COVID-19 could just devastate everything, as it did. And because everybody was locked down, George Floyd's death on the anniversary of my court appearance, by the way, solidified the prophecy, made the righteous rise up in anger and demand justice for George Floyd and for every black man, woman, and child who has been killed by the police. The white supremacist Nazi police that Trump has exposed. And now the stage is set for the Camp Out for Freedom. Even as I speak, there has been yet another brutal killing of a black man by a police woman this time. Oh, I was reaching for my taser, she said. Just another bald-faced example of white supremacy in America. And it is not going to stop until we stop it, my friends. And that is exactly what the Camp Out for Freedom is designed to do, to stop the police brutality, to finish what Trump started, giving me the platform to follow in the footsteps of Moses, to free my people from the oppressive American police corporate state. And I am to do that by repeating the acts of Moses, by standing up to the state and saying, bullshit. You prove to me that you have the right to do what you've done to my people. And so I'm here to say, let my people go, just as Moses did, because I'm the new Moses. Jesus was never going to come. He was never meant to come. Zion was always the prophetic figure foretold. And here I am, doing exactly what Zion was meant to do. How did Zion become? I took it upon myself to seek the truth in prophecy and to fulfill it once I figured out that I had the capacity to do so. And so here I am, the new Moses. Not the Messiah, not the Holy One, not anything other than a pothead who's sick and tired of being oppressed. And had the foresight to pray, being a telepath, and being heard by the God of Israel, the telepathic gray aliens that fly in our skies, trying to get our attention, saying, here we are, seek us out, find us, know us, invite us to come, and we will come, and together we will create a new earth, a new society, based on my beautiful rainbow people and the righteousness on high. So I'm inviting everyone to come to York, Nebraska on 4/20, to camp out, to demand an end to the war on drugs, police brutality, corporate politics, the bullshit that is money. So join me on 4/20 to say, to hell with America. Zion sounds better to me. So join me. May the gray watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm. May they teach you right from wrong, and may you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your guild choice when we get to Zion, hopefully on 4/20. My name is Zion. I love you way too much to say goodbye. So much say later now.